Good morning, everyone. Nancy Benedetti here in Augusta, Georgia at the fabulous studios, Studio C, Suzanne Painter's Studio C. Today, I'm going to talk to you about casting porcelain. This is casting liquid porcelain slip into a mold to get pieces to work with. Now, for those of you who've never seen porcelain, here is porcelain slip. If you're in the US, I highly recommend the Laguna products. Easy to find. If you're in Europe, you can easily get the Limoges clay. Lovely. I've worked with that. When you purchase it, if you would like to step here, Marty, and just when you purchase it, it's a little bit like pudding, like this. And so the preparation of the clay is really what is very important. So I'm just going to loosen this up with a stick or a dowel or whatever. So I loosen this up. I add about a fourth of a cup of water to this. Let me just put that there. And then I have a professional machine that does this, but let's say you don't. Just a simple immersion blender to come in here. I would add a fourth of a cup of water, and then I would blend this. You can also get a paint stirrer and put it on the end of a drill and do it that way. It's just faster. Or you could literally stir it by hand, and you could do that. Now, when you are done with this, especially if you use an immersion blender, that tends to whip air into the slip. And so what I do is I strain it twice. Maybe I would strain it. It'll not take out any lumps. And it also helps remove air bubbles. So I will do this a couple of times so that my slip is in perfect condition. Now this right here, I have already prepared. And what I'm going to do, these are molds, ceramic molds. Let me open this. You can buy these off eBay used if you want. This is a little quail. So we will cast this. Suzanne bought this piece right off of, I think it was eBay. I think that's what she said. A used mold. And here's what we're going to do. So I have prepared this slip ready for casting. It is approximately the consistency of heavy cream. And so here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pour this into this mold like this. And I'm going to let it sit. Now, because it is plaster, it's going to build up. This plaster is sucking the water out of this clay. And you will see a little buildup right around here. I'll show that as we get a little closer. Here is a box mold. I'm doing a box because there's a little trick to boxes. This is the box bottom. This is the box lid. And we're going to let this sit for just a bit, as for this box, probably 8 minutes, I would say. For maybe the same for this quail. Now, while we're waiting for, we call this the dump, I went ahead last night and I cast, this is a large box and a large vase. So I cast these so that I could have these ready to discuss this with you. This is a beautiful vase, which we use this vase quite a bit in this studio. And this is how it comes out of the mold. This right here is referred to as the spare. And when we cut this, I'm going to take a X-Acto knife and just come right around here. Now I will show you the proper way to do this lip rim. Many times, people that just do shows, you will see this, which we do not want that. So Marty, I'd like to say Marty Brandenburg from Grand Rapids, Michigan is handling our camera for us. She just took 2 back-to-back seminars with me. Learned a few things maybe. So here's what we want. We want this all shaved. And we want a nice roll over. So I'm going to just come in here. Now, when I poured this, because it's a bit larger pieces, that a little bit more setup time. I will tell you how to determine what your setup time is as soon as these molds that I just cast progress a little bit. Okay, let's just clean this up just a little bit. Then I'm going to take a sponge with a bit of water, and I can work this. Marty did this piece in class. She put orchids and painted it. So she made the piece and painted it. So see how that is smoothing out? Because we want a beautiful. Was there a question? No.
Painted it in a new and fast way to get dark colors. Nancy has many tricks.
Yeah, we did this entire throat, a deep, deep purple.
In one fire.
So we're just going to go, so we end up going all the way around. Let me just quickly do this. This piece will be ready for me when I come back the next time. If you're interested in doing any clay work at all, I highly recommend Suzanne's studios. She's got everything. The sky's literally the limit. So see, this is the mold line, and we pull this even with the piece. We have to take it all off. So I'll just pretend like we took it all off. Then we take a sponge and just smooth everything.
And later you can fill in this little hole bubble.
Yes, you need to. So this would be just the lip rim. I'm going to set this over here, and I'm going to do the box.
Your X-Acto knife is under it.
Oh, is it? No wonder why it's not. Oh, that's much better. So let's come and take a look at this. So if you can get up here, Marty, can we see this little wall starting to build up?
Yes.
So this little wall, that tells us how thick our porcelain is. Let's see our box. You can see that's how thick our porcelain is already. So I'm going to let that sit for just a little bit longer. And I'm going to open this box. Again, this box is something we do quite a bit here.
So the finished one.
Larger molds, you can get these straps. I mean, you can just do the rubber bands too. Let me open this. This is how it comes. Here is our box bottom. I think I might need to sit down with this. And we are going to trim our edge. We have this box. This box is done. We'll get that maybe and show you the finished box that we did here. So we have removed the spare, and then we have to come in here. We treat porcelain very gently.
You're making it even with the wall.
Yes. It's kind of fun to do this. I mean, it is work. Sometimes heavy work. This is the reason why I can still go sleeveless at my advanced age. Okay, here's our box bottom. So let's go open the top of the lid. Here's our lid. And I will remove this spare.
Nancy, what happens if one removes more than necessary? How do we know?
Well, that is a very good question. When you look, let's look at the mold. This right here is the end, is this right here. Everything else is called the spare, what I just cut off. Like, it has happened that people just come and just take everything. And that is how you teach yourself never to do that again. This, all boxes have to have this little flange. Now, if I had cut too much of the spare off of the base, and I went, oh no, I went too far, I could always do something very beautiful on the lip rim or what have you. Let's see if it's going to fit. See, this fits nicely. Whenever we are doing a box, the lid must be on the box when it is high firing. Now, when it fires, porcelain is the only substance on the planet that can maintain its shape in a molten state. But since it's molten, it has a tendency to fuse together. So on this lip rim, we put a separator, which could be silica, silica just with a little bit of water that you just brush on here. You could use alumina. Here in this studio, we don't have either one, so we use thin down kill wash, just a little bit on this edge. And so when we high fire it, the lid will come off.
You don't put it on the edge of the top of the box.
We put it where it comes in contact here. And so here is our lid. And another little handy hint, this is a nice flat lid. When I high fire this, I fire it with the lid down so that I maintain a nice flat surface. We've used this box many times. We've done reefs, we've done succulent gardens, we've done all sorts of things. But this box now is ready to work with. You can pierce it, you can do whatever you want. So
What's
now,
the high firing?
sorry,
What's the high fire?
this is the high fire is cone 6. This is a cone 6 clay. You can also buy this as a cone 10 clay. It's a very beautiful clay. Right over here, just to let you know, this shrinks. Let me grab the finished box. See how much it shrinks in the high fire? This piece was fired on its lid. See? See how much? Quite a bit of shrinkage, but now it's porcelain. So let's come back here. So now we're pretty much here. So now I'm going to dump these molds. And so I'm going to pour this out. And you can see right in there, that's going to be our quail. We just leave it inverted so that it just stops dripping. Now just set it down.
So that was the excess, correct?
This is what?
The excess?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the excess, which we all save. Now here is the box. Now the trick with a box, when we are doing a box, we do not want runs or drips in our box. So I'm going to just do this. And I'm going to hold it on this direction so that it can drip out. If I were to just put this down like this, I would get little drip nipples inside here that I would have to deal with. So I'm just going to hold this and let it get, you can see it's still building up down there. So just hold it so that I have a beautiful interior. That looks good. So see, the inside of my box will be nice. I do like to put this on angle. And then we just reclaim what we didn't use. And that is how you cast molds. The key, the clay needs to be beautifully stirred. And if there are air bubbles in it, let it sit. Even you can let it sit for 24 hours if you want, and just hand stir it nice so that it's like heavy cream. You can pour it into molds. You saw me open molds. You saw me trim molds. These two pieces, later this afternoon, they'll be ready to open. Suzanne will have a lovely little sun box and a little quail that she gets to leave here for me until I get here the next time. So, anyways, are there any questions? Are there any questions about porcelain clay that I can answer?
What do you do with the rest that the spare that you removed? Do you throw it or do you dilute it?
This right here?
The spares that you removed, yes.
Okay. What I do, when I'm in a studio, we just throw it away. What I do in my studio is I save this in a big bucket. And when I have enough, I add water. I take my immersion blender and I turn it into a liquid. And I add paper pulp to mine and into paper clay. I use paper clay with students because it helps them in attaching, it helps them in hand building. Mostly we use it for attaching. We use straight clay, but you can turn this back into casting slip by, like if you get it back into, if you add enough liquid and stir it up, you can turn this into a casting slip again, but it's not all that great. You can work with it, but it's a little clumpy. I do save this, but on the road I pitch it. So that's what I do. I save it and turn it into liquid and either turn it into paper clay or just cast with it again.
Regarding firing, I
Yeah.
have a kiln with cones, so I can bring a cone 6. So you put it directly on the surface of the kiln?
I do not fire on the bottom of the kiln. I put it on a kiln shelf.
Shelf, on the shelf, yeah, because it
Yeah,
doesn't have any grits or anything. It's flat.
right. And you know what? If you have a little bit of dry kiln wash and just put a little bit of dry kiln wash right on your kiln shelf, it'll help when it shrinks. It'll help slide on your kiln shelf
When
for
you
you.
mean dry kiln wash,
Yeah.
it's that powder that we mix with water to make it a wash. So just the powder?
Yes. If your kiln shelves are kiln washed, I still take for porcelain because it shrinks so much. Sometimes it could stick in a little area, especially if you have a round piece. It might stick in a little area and then it'll give you not
Sprinkle
quite.
the powder wash, you mean?
Yes, just take you wash it with the kiln wash with a brush and water, but before I just take a little bit of dry on my hand and I just rub it on the kiln shelf surface.
Okay, so you mix it with water first. You do the kiln wash actually.
Right. I actually do it how you're supposed to with the brush and all that. And then when that dries, I just take a little bit more on my hand and it just gives it a little extra something so that it can move freely on the kill shelf.
When you
That's a
say a little
that's a good
sorry, when you say a little extra on your hand, is it from the mixture with the water or just the dry powder?
it's the dry.
Okay, get it. Thank you.
That's a very good tip. I hope you do it.
I'm gonna try.
And you do clay work at home?
Never. I am interested to try.
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful.
One day I will come to see you.
I would love it. I work with people all over the world. I'd love to.
Yeah, well, I wish I have the space to do all this. I would bring you to my studio. I don't have a big area for kiln and all this mess.
Well, I'm happy to work with you on our YouTube channel for the iPad Museum.
Of course. Thank you so much. Has been helpful.
Oh, excellent. Anybody else have any sort of question on porcelain? So long as I'm standing at your service.
Nancy, do you use distilled water when you add water?
No, no, I don't. I don't do that. I don't use I use nothing special. I use San Diego tap water is what I do.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing special, not too much water. You know, if I purchase this is a brand new gallon of slip, the most I would add is maybe a fourth of a cup to this, the most to an entire gallon. And
Well,
I do it, I probably don't add more, you know, as I just keep it down. As you stir it, it gets thinner and thinner as well. So,
okay. Where do you buy the slip?
you know what? Where do you live? Where do you live? She does not hear me.
Helena, Montana.
Okay, Helena, Montana.
With
Uh,
the Brave Foundation, I might be able to get it there.
You know what? I have taught in Montana, and here's what I would do. I would go in the days when we had the yellow pages, I would Google Laguna Slip, Helena, Montana. Uh,
Okay.
Laguna is very easy to get. It's all over the country. And in Montana, there's a fair amount of potters and people that work because you're winters, you need something to do in the winter time. I You can easily find it in your city. Any distributor, if you go Google it, they'll say they carry Laguna. I don't think it's going to be an issue at all for you. So, if you're interested, Laguna has about, I don't know, 10 whites, 10 different whites. The particular color I like is called snow, and that's in the slip, snow number 131. This is a very nice white porcelain, high quality. And in the when I buy the clay, like a 25-pound bag of clay, I purchase the Frost Cone 6, and it goes with this snow just perfect. So I use both of those, and that's what is used here in Augusta at Suzanne's studio as well. So I don't think you'll have an issue finding it in Helena, Montana.
Can you hold the jar to take a picture of the snow number,
Here,
please?
sure, here. Can you see it?
Thank you.
I highly recommend this. And again, the clay, if we want, you could just buy a 25-pound block of clay, which is really this without the water, and that is called Frost Cone 6. And so Frost Cone 6 and this snow, perfect match. And where you find this, you would find the frost as well. Are there any other questions at all regarding porcelain?
This has been a lovely question and answer session, and it's been quite unique, and we've had a lot of participation. I've learned a lot, and I've been doing this for quite some time. And Nancy, we want to thank you so much for giving us this wonderful addition to our Zoom library.
I'm happy to be part of that. Ask
Thank
me
you.
next year, I'll do something else. And Suzanne, here's a couple of molds for you to open later in the afternoon.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop the recording now, and then we're going to chat afterwards. Okay.